Good morning, folks. The sun is pumping out CMEs. We'll peek in on some weather at the end, but the core of today's news is about major solar storm revelations, and they are not all good. Let's get started over at spaceweathernews.com, and we're finding the last 24 hours on our star were active on the right, the western departing limb, while the dark coronal hole on the north dominates the Earth-facing heliographic longitudes. Without sunspots on the disk, solar flaring remains very low, and indeed the eruptive activity took place around and to the north of the departing plasma filament dancing above the surface there. Solar wind is set to intensify early this week when the stream from that coronal hole arrives, likely to be Tuesday, and a good auroral display is forecast. A quick look at the silence of our star, which lasted for days, ending in a flurry of CMEs as Mercury comes in to conjoin the Sun. The CMEs are not aimed at any planet, although Venus and Mars are in the crosshairs if they fire again today. The glare off Mercury is bright, with about 99% of the Earth-facing side illuminated there. So folks, let's talk about solar storms. We all know the potential for major solar flares and CMEs to impact our planet, coupling that energy into the geomagnetic and geoelectric systems, causing electrical issues from the ground up to satellite level, but which, in a very bad event, could wipe out our electrified way of life, whereas our ancestors would have merely seen a beautiful display of light in the sky. Over the last 2 years, we've been aiming to describe the global scale trouble that could happen, and now we've got big studies focusing on the South and the equator. Let's begin in South Africa, where they have been identifying the 3 most severe geomagnetic storms affecting their country. 1989-2003 events are no surprise, but the third on their list is a coronal hole stream-driven disturbance, which is a bit of surprise that they can ramp up their effects to that level. Up next, we're heading to New Zealand, home of the nationwide air traffic shutdown during the Level 4 storm in 2015, and this is not great news. Their position in magnetic latitude and clustered population density setup makes their transmission lines the primary geomagnetic induction pathway, which is as bad as it sounds in a future major event, and one imagines the trend is towards more interconnectedness down there. Up next, we're in South America, Peru. High up in the mountains, just astride the weakest geomagnetic fields on Earth, the South Atlantic anomaly, set just south of the magnetic equator where more satellites have problems than anywhere else on Earth. They are now confirming a strong loss of Earth's magnetic field, our protection from the Sun, but that loss is also having a profound effect on the equatorial electrojet, which is responding to solar storms more and more as Earth's protection fades in preparation for the upcoming magnetic reversal of our planet. Last article briefly illuminates the charged particle danger to satellites, which often are the first to feel those effects high above the ground. Good read there. Hurricane Nate ended up smashing into Mississippi, with her and Bama taking the worst of it right now. Best wishes to all those affected. Make smart decisions. To learn more about the Earth-Sun relationship amidst Earth's magnetic reversal, you can check out our links below this video, and I recommend you come to Observing the Frontier 2018. A full State of the Earth report will be delivered, including the most recent information on the magnetic pole shift. We've got the rest of the world's wind maps, null school, and shots of our star to close. We'll do this all again tomorrow, right here, but right now it's 5:25 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.